This is Three Monkeys, a scenario requiring 1,400 guests by the end of Year 3. It's a large, hilly park built around a large lake, and it comes with 3 dueling coasters, the Three Monkeys: Hear No Evil, See No Evil, and Speak No Evil. They are brilliantly built looping coasters, each with over 8 on excitement, around 7 for intensity, and under 4 for nausea. But they are priced very cheap at £2, so first job for anybody playing this park is setting the price appropriately. You may also want to add an on-ride photo section for each coaster, but as these are currently my only rides, I'll skip the photo section just to keep them open. As with the start of any scenario, I'll need to build an information kiosk near to the entrance, and I've already got guests complaining that they're hungry but no food stalls available, so I'll prioritise that in research along with thrill rides, which I am also lacking. So with 3 large intense coasters in place, I'll need to add some rides from other categories to the park. Static rides, which don't require much building from me, will help get the ride count up quickly and give guests options other than the dueling coasters. So I've added a merry-go-round and Ferris wheel from the gentle rides, and a twist and pirate ship from the available thrill rides. I've kept all 4 close to the coasters and current path to ensure variety in this area of the park and to keep guests within a small area for now. With 7 rides in the park, it's time for my first custom built ride, and as we don't yet have any water rides, I will build a log flume. I'd like to make this quite a long one and go for a high excitement rating, which will hopefully make a popular ride for guests. Unlike roller coasters, water rides can hold a large number of cars with just a small platform. So from my small station, the flume climbs slightly before 2 drops take it into the water. After another climb and 2 more small drops, the ride heads underground, a great way to boost the excitement rating. Passing under its own track, the flume then rises up along the banks of the hill. Turning at the top, the ride goes straight into its largest descent with a short underground tunnel at the bottom. It then weaves over the early part of the ride, and they've dug out a bit of the lake to create the illusion of travelling through the lake rather than above it. From there, it's about finding a route back to the station, which takes the ride on its longest underground section. So skipping straight to the ride stats then, and I've achieved over 6 on excitement, a great result for a water ride. Next, those dead trees and the fact the spooky theming is the only theme available initially has given me the idea to build some spooky rides up on this hill. A go-kart track through a graveyard could be cool, so let's build the track and add some scenery afterwards. For my go-karts, I prefer to create a good sized track and have guests take just 1 lap. I find that works best for excitement compared with 2 or 3 laps on a shorter track, although space and financial constraints may make a shorter track the best option for some parks. As with the log flume, using some underground elements helps boost the excitement rating. So, go-kart track complete, a haunted house seems a natural fit for a spooky area. I'll cut this into the hill to give it a more natural and spookier look. At that point, I got my first food stand available from research, which the guests are crying out for, so I'll break from my spooky area to quickly add 2 fruity ice stalls to the park, and then it's back to my go-karts, which now need some scenery. So I'm skipping ahead now, and honestly the reason for that is the build of these splash boats was quite messy. The results were worth it with over 7 excitement, so instead let me show you the end product rather than the build. The ride weaves between the existing log flume with a climb out of the station and a big drop to the lake. There's some underground section too, but it was getting it between the log flume and back to the station that took a bit of trial and error. Honestly, I didn't need to build the ride in this location, but I wanted to add to the excitement for both rides, and so having them close by made a lot of sense, but there is plenty of space in the park to have built this elsewhere. So that's all I really did in the first half of Year 2, apart from managing my staff and keeping an eye on guest thoughts. But as I haven't yet built any of my own roller coasters in this park, now is the time. There is a nice area of land for a compact design over behind the go-karts. As we have 3 big steel looping coasters, I'll go with a traditional wooden coaster for this one. So we have a small drop from the station before climbing the chain lift hill and into a steep drop and immediate ascent. Turning around the chain lift hill, I gave this coaster another drop before using a very wide turn to take it past the station and close to the footpath. Then it turns back around the front of the station to begin heading home. So let's take a test ride starting at the top of the lift hill. Stats come in quite intense, but with another high excitement rating, which I'm pleased with. To try and bring that intensity down just a little, I'll reduce the height of the first drop to slow the train down. I'll skip the test for this time, but here's the result. We've got that intensity below 8 now, so I'm happy with that. And research has just delivered the ghost train, which seems ideal for that spooky area from earlier. There's a really good pre-built ghost train, and I find creating these types of building a bit fiddly, especially on the iPad, so let's take the ghost train from the build menu and place it on this level I've cut into the hill. I've clearly got a taste for the landscape tool, so again I'll cut a large area, this time for river rapids. I kinda wished I'd created my own rapids, but instead I opted for King Rapids. Still going with the landscaping, I've created a small area for Space Ring, and that brings me to my next custom build. If you've watched me play these before, you'll know I'm usually quite quick to build Mango Muncher from the Junior Coaster build menu, but today I'm going to create my own. I like Junior Coasters because they can be quite popular with guests, and a good excitement rating is possible while keeping the intensity and nausea under control. They will never be the flagship ride of your park, but they can certainly reach good satisfaction and popularity levels. Special track items are limited, so dips, turns and helixes are essential, and the number of trees nearby will give a small boost to excitement because any scenery counts. So let's test ride. So ride stats come in around 5 with a lower nausea, which is exactly what I wanted, and we're ready to open the ride. As the target is 1,400 guests and I've only just hit 1,000, I'm going to use advertising to help boost my guest numbers. I started the campaign for the park just before building the Junior Coaster, but now it's time to get aggressive and hit everything. New rides will also help boost the guest count, so let's get a bobsleigh in. These are tricky rides to master, and I'll need to learn a bit more about them before creating a ride guide for this one. I'm going to go through quickly with this, and hopefully you'll see what I'm trying to create, and then I'll share the test ride with you. To me, this seems a reasonable coaster layout, but the stats are awful. After a couple of extra tries and adding some more elements and a longer track, the stats have barely improved. But you know what, time is against me and some guests might actually like a more relaxed roller coaster, so let's find out. I really don't like this ride, I'm not happy with it, but let's just open it anyway. So as I head to October, you'll see I'm still short on guests, but the advertising campaign is helping that number rise rapidly, and it's not long until I'm at 1,400, meaning I can just wait for the month to end. This is the closest I've got to not actually completing the park goals so far, but I have done it, and had I needed to, more advertising earlier on would have made this quite simple.